Hey, Jagged here. Before we get into the video, if you've liked my content, smash that sub button. And I also stream live on Twitch most nights, so check me out at twitch.tv/jacket. My links will be in the description. Let's get into the video. Okay, so I wanted to voice my opinions as well about Season 1. I know there's a lot of opinions going out there. We got the Reddit, we got a lot of big creators talking about Season 1. You can and can't do, how it feels, things like that. So I wanted to put my 2 cents out there, let everyone else know how I feel. I have 400 plus hours on Necromancer in the preseason. I wanted to give the Necromancer a fair shot here, just to make sure everyone knew what was able to be done with those new hearts. The minion Wrathful Heart looked really nice, so I wanted to make sure everyone knew that. So here we are, and I wanted to kind of, get to my stopping point here and let everyone know how it feels, as we have obtained that Wrathful Heart, and how it impacts the minions themselves. But we're going to talk about that in a different video altogether. So keep an eye out for that content coming out. But this video is going to be about my journey here and how I feel about Season 1. So I just wanted to start off, I have level 67 character. This is hardcore. We have the Scroll of Escapes, Elixir of Death Evasion, and I also have this to show you guys as well, where I have played almost 2 full days logged into the season, level 67 on hardcore, and just want to put that out there where I'm at with the level. We've also completed all of the renown that we needed to. I'm missing a few dungeons here in Fracture Peaks, and I believe I have finished most dungeons. Yeah, I got about 8 here in Gosland, but this is kind of some of the reason why I wanted to make the video as well. So we finished that. We're in World Tier 4. We did beat the Capstone Dungeon at World Tier 4, so make sure you check that video out as well. We did that at level 60 on hardcore, so we were 10 levels under. Just absolutely obliterated Elias, so that was really nice. So yeah, let's get into some talking points for me about this here. So I did want to just preface everything and say I'm not really thrilled with the season. I played a lot about it. I played a lot with all of the things that we have available here, and it's not something that I'm entirely thrilled of. The legendary powers and uniques that were added for the season felt like they were all throwaway add-ons to the game. Basically nothing enhanced current builds, and there was nothing else that was really build defining, unfortunately. The second thing I wanted to mention as well is that the season questline was very short, and it ended abruptly. Now that's both good and bad, right? You don't want to be spending a million years doing the season questline, but I felt like just as I was getting interested in what was happening, it fell flat on its face. This is the boss, you're done. Go on with the rest of what you were doing in Diablo, which, like I said, that could be good for some people, that could be bad for some people. I knew from the patch notes that, and like how people were describing the seasons, the developers being these people, that there wasn't going to be what felt like a lot. And so I was hoping that the seasonal storyline kind of carried us through World Tier 3, World Tier 4, kind of kept us coming back for a little bit more here and there. And it didn't, unfortunately. If everything stops, you can finish everything in World Tier 1 or 2 before you even have to get to any challenging content. And I found that not so good. So there are a few things I want to mention about that. The boss progression is not described very well. I missed it completely through the storyline. Maybe I just skipped too many things too quickly, but you have to go and find Varshan, the Echo of Varshan, in World Tier 2. Defeat him on World Tier 2. Then you have to get that recipe, use the recipe, make a World Tier 3 one, go kill him again on World Tier 3, then you get the recipe for World Tier 4. And on World Tier 4, you can fight the quote-unquote Uber version of them, but it's level 80. And I don't know why I sat down. I really don't like this. Speaking of things that are bad, I don't know who thought this little pot here was good for the Kyovashad one, but you could barely find your way out of it sometimes. It's really annoying. But you get these malignant invokers here, and so it starts off with the Ichor of Varshan, not Ichor, Invoker. And then you get the Foul one, which is some sigil powder, and then the Tormented one is the most powerful version. So that's kind of, I just missed that completely. I was watching Quinn randomly and saw someone was telling him about it. Apparently, he missed it as well. Not to put words in his mouth, but it was just something that we weren't, really aware of that you could miss, and we miss it. We put a lot of time in the game. It shouldn't be something that we're missing. Um, I did think it would be really cool to see like the malignancy that's going on spread and ramp up as the world tiers ramped up. So that was a big letdown for me. I thought, okay, world tier 1 and 2, sure. You don't see very many growths around the world. Some of the world events are different, sure. That's fine. But I expected a little bit more as we went up because the mob density goes up in those worlds, the difficulty goes up. So I was like, okay, maybe the growths go rampant when we go higher, but no, not even that. Just completely static. You get what you get whenever it randomly decides to show up for you. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the season pass. There's a couple things going on here. The seasonal journey has you complete some tasks, and these are both not difficult tasks, but they're also not things that you're doing that you wouldn't normally be doing. So again, good and bad. I like being rewarded for completing the same things that we were going to do. Um, I'm not a fan of doing sellers, as you can tell. Still haven't completed even 10 sellers. Uh, but you get some rewards here. I love getting these new seasonal powers added to the codex. This is a major change. I love it. 10 of 10 would recommend. Keep this up, Blizzard. This is a fantastic thing. These rewards are almost not. Oh. Seasonal blessings are pretty good. I will say that start with the XP one always. This is a non-negotiable fact. The XP is so low that this is 2% less than what we would have been getting prior to all of the other nerfs. So we're back to what we were almost getting by minus 2%. You just got to get to like level, I don't even know, 50 something? The 38. So 38 is my next one. I have one available. 32 is. So, season pass level 28, you'll have enough to get all 4 of them, which is probably approximately like 62, I want to say, maybe 65, somewhere around there. But essentially, season pass has these rewards for permanent upgrades throughout the season. None of these are entirely thrilling, so I don't even know what this means. Boost the chance of powerful malignant hearts drops. Hearts drop after completing the campaign. I don't know what chance of powerful malignant hearts mean. What I'm assuming this means is that there is a level 4 and then a level 5 one, and then maybe this gives you a percentage chance to even get a level 5 one. We'll do some more testing and find out later tonight. Otherwise, I'm not entirely thrilled with the season pass. I have it completed. We'll scroll to the end here to show you that I have it completed, but I am level 90. I have unlocked the horse. Again, none of this really stands out to me. I don't really care about much of it. You guys can let me know if you think about the rewards. I mean, like, this being an early free reward, I mean, like, this is literally just a sword. Like this was probably laying around somewhere in their stockpile of models, and they were like, yeah, let's throw that in the season pass, because, I mean, this is literally a sword. This, like, swords don't get more generic than this sword. That's insane. Overall, this season journey is about as standard as it gets for Diablo games, in case you haven't played them, so that's something that is good. This doesn't need too much changing. Boards might be better, I think. Okay. And all you get is a player title. I thought those might have been recipes. That would have been... But no, you don't really get a heck of a lot. Yeah, moving on to the next topic. The next topic I have here is I don't like that the world does not feel very different with the theme of Season 1. So this is a big contention point. Some things that have changed are, you'll notice there's a dungeon with a leaf. The leaf is what determines what is seasonal in all content for Diablo, in case you don't know. The leaf is not just a season 1 thing. It is going to persist through all of the seasons, just so you guys know out there who are not very familiar with it. But you'll see that we have the regular dungeons, like these Tormented Ruins. This will count towards your renown. And then we have the Leaf Dungeon here, which is a Malignant Tunnel. Now, these Malignant Tunnels are available to go to, and their entrance looks like, a cellar. Like if we were to run over this one, it would look like a cellar, and there's nothing special about it at all. There's basically nothing showing up that shows that this is any different in the overworld. It doesn't have a bunch of growths coming out of it. It doesn't have pretty much anything that makes it stand out in any way, and I believe that is a large game design flaw. Why would this tunnel be a Malignant Tunnel, but it just looks like something that you would find randomly? Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to be a Malignant Tunnel, but I can barely tell that there's anything malignant about it at all from this outside. This corruption is supposed to be seeping into the world, and you don't see anything until you actually go inside of it. So if we go inside of it, you'll see that, okay, this is a bit of a new design, but it's the old floor layouts. You don't expect some of this stuff to change, but we do have these extra growths here, so that is something that's notable, but not on the outside. What I will say is these tunnels are the single best way to farm for Malignant Hearts, which is good. It is a good thing that you can farm for the hearts. They are not hiding them from you. If you are running around the world going, man, I cannot find a single Malignant monster. They're so rare. I don't know what's happening. That is, in fact, not the case. Go to these hearts. You can use the reset dungeon button that has been added to the game here once you're outside that dungeon, or the Malignant Tunnel, and just reset the dungeon and spam whichever one you want to do. You can do it. It's totally fine. The other thing here I wanted to mention about this is that the tunnels have certain growths at the end that help with this target farming. The hearts at the end of certain tunnels will be either the offensive, defense, or utility hearts. So you can find a tunnel. That one will always be the same at the end. I have been farming this one. This has a utility heart, as I have been looking for a devious heart that has a 100% resource reduction effectiveness to see if it impacts this resource drain that we have to deal with from the Wrathful Heart for the minion one. So I've been farming this one here. Now there are a few Malignant Elites per tunnel that also give you a chance to spawn a Wrathful Elite mob, so Wrathful Hearts can spawn just out in the overworld or out wherever you're finding these Malignant mobs. You don't need to just get a invoker to get one or anything like that. You can find a mob with them. It's very rare. And this is the best way I have been able to see to get Wrathful Hearts, because a random chest seems like a waste. It almost seems better to just sit here and spam these. The only way to get a Wrathful Invoker is through the random chest, which is a big letdown because the Wrathful Hearts are the important ones, and we would like to be able to get more of them, or at least I would. I don't know if anyone else, but I'm pretty sure we would all like to see more of them, especially because we might not be getting the ones that we want. The good news is, this is something that does actually help out with rarity of Wrathful Hearts here. So once you do get a few hearts that you absolutely need, there's pretty much no reason to replace them. They go into your jewelry, and your jewelry is something that you can get away with not swapping out too much, because you can get like some vulnerable damage, some crit damage on it, and then just basically never replace it. Or insert your big 2 stats here. Going up in higher jewelry stats just gives you a little bit more of it, and sometimes some of these hearts are so much more useful that you basically don't care about what the rings and necklace have on it. Now the necklace you might, so maybe we'll get into that in a little bit here. But once you do get those hearts, there's almost zero reason to replace that piece. Seems like that you want to farm quantity over quality, which you are able to do with these tunnels, which is again a good thing. And then once you get that heart, keep it in your piece. That's pretty much my advice on that. You can pretty much keep that exact piece of jewelry until you find the next exact piece of jewelry that you want, and then place a heart that you may have farmed in that one. So going into what I was saying earlier, I obtained the Necromancer Raffle Heart, and it is a very good heart. It is so good that my minions are hitting pretty much as hard as my level 100 minions are before I apply any modifiers to those minions. It's or to the enemies. It's really ridiculous. Definitely build enhancing. If you're familiar with the stuff on my channel, this heart, this heart just makes minions insanely powerful. I would highly recommend it. What I will say is we did have to make some build adjustments, working towards some of these builds that have absolutely no essence consumption. As you can see, the essence just does completely drain once it hits 24, which is the number at which it would need to drain from. So that is something that I would say as well, that something to keep an eye out for. If you're not fond of the essence drain, it can be a little wonky, but let me tell you, the minions just hit really hard. So it's something to keep your eye out for. I put this heart on my necklace, and I'll tell you why, tying it into the end of the last point. My necklace is super specific for my build. There's two things that are absolutely necessary. You want total armor on it, and you want Hellbent Commander. Everything else is a bonus. Movement speed, summoning skill damage, the next best stat on it, intellect, whatever. It's all a moot point after that. If I have armor, I get the defense I need. If I get Hellbent Commander, I get 30% more multiplicative damage when I'm standing near my mages. It's the only thing I care about. So I socketed my Wrathful Heart into my necklace because it's simply the best. It simply will not be replaced until I find the absolute next best one, and so that's what I would recommend doing in the future for anyone else. Find your best piece you're not going to replace for a very long time, and slot the good heart into it. I will say, speaking of that, I don't like that the Julie got even harder to find a good piece now, because the hearts are build defining, or can be build defining. Sometimes that color socket can be worth your entire piece of jewelry, and so you find like one vulnerable thing on it, and you put a heart in it, and then that's your piece for like 40 levels. So that's not a good thing, I don't think. Moving on to the next thing on my list, I will say that the season feels almost identical to preseason, and I hate it. I hate that it feels almost identical. I did a little power leveling to get to higher levels to make content for everyone, and I will say that I pretty much missed out on most of the season leveling up to 50 plus because I'm looking for the World Tier 3 hearts, I'm looking for the World Tier 4 hearts to make some content for everyone to let them know how they feel, and you almost don't even know the season's happening unless you specifically go to a malignant tunnel, or you specifically go to a place where you're doing part of the quest line, and it just feels very, very bad. And so I cannot stress that enough. I cannot believe that I just felt like I was doing everything over again. The renown grind feels awful. It needs like a deeper overhaul or something, because I thought that just the altars and map were going to be like, okay, this is good enough. But man, the 100+ dungeons was absolutely a slog. It felt miserable to do. I think that the dungeons themselves need some substance, some extra look at, because doing one dungeon, going to the next dungeon, and just running past all the mobs to get the completion done feels terrible. Now, that's like a min-max perspective, sure. You may think that the dungeons are fantastic and you like going to rescue the 5 prisoners every single time, but if I'm trying to complete something, and my goal is to, get the 5 prisoners unlocked, that I'm specifically not killing the mobs, which give me XP, because I'm trying to get the captive prisoners unlocked faster so that I can get to the renown done so that I can get my Paragon points. I'm almost missing the entire point of interacting with any of the monsters because I just want my renown or my renown to be done and get my Paragon points. So, that fun can be had there, and I want them to work on it. That's all I'm saying. My initial class did have a really good Wrathful Heart that I showed you guys. So some builds are absolutely enhanced by some of these hearts, and I've heard that others feel very samey, and they're using like the Barber and crit damage and just waiting for things to die after the 2 seconds wears off. And some of my last closing thoughts here. I don't feel like the game devs really have a vision for what their game is supposed to be. We had a huge set of nerfs with 1.1. They had an apology. They made some changes to make the nerfs feel a little bit better, like to the Nightmare Dungeons. They inherently nerfed all of the monsters as well, so overall, we got nerfed, monsters got nerfed, but the XP also got nerfed drastically as well, so now everything takes a little bit longer, and it was already taking people a long time to get to 100. And truthfully, there's really leveling is the name of this game. If you're not going to kill Uberlilith, then you're playing to level. So uh, that's kind of where we're at with that. What I will say is that all nerfs usually come with buffs and some changes to make things interesting, and we got none of that in the tuning. And XP and gameplay do feel absolutely slower since we have had that patch. I played mostly 10 levels below my content, and I still felt like it was such a slog. So, wrapping up everything, I think overall season 1 feels so overall I think season 1 falls short of doing the bare minimum. I'm going brutally honest with it. I would not recommend playing Diablo 4 season 1 if you have put in a decent amount of time into the preseason. You're going to feel like it's the same, and I wish I had better things to say about it. So, keep an eye out for some videos coming out. Make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe if you are feeling so inclined to and you are liking some of this content that you are seeing. And I will continue to play the game. We're gonna do a druid. I promised my followers to give them something to look forward to for druid, and we are going to do that next. We're gonna go ahead and put out some interesting thoughts and takes about how to level up druid moving forward. So that wraps up this video. Again, check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/jacket, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!